Hey, so it's day 12, which is actually my first 0 day on the trail. I'm here in Tucson, spending some time with friends, having a down day. But I wanted to take a moment to talk about gear that I'm leaving behind after 11 days on the trail, and gear maybe that I'm swapping out. And I have a handful of items, including one of my big ones, which is my backpack. So let's start there. So I have been hiking with the first generation Durston Kakwa 40 liter. This is made of Ultra 200 material, and I love this backpack. I did about 75 miles for training and shakedown on this backpack before coming to the AZT. And I've since completed just around 155 miles on the AZT with this backpack. Now here's the challenge. After about 4 days on the trail, I started to notice some wear and tear where the frame meets the bottom of the backpack. After 11 days, you can see that it looks as if the sleeves that the frame comes into are about to poke all the way through the Ultra 200 fabric on the outside. Some of you who have more experience than me on gear might say this is still fine. It does not seem trustworthy to me. Now, because I'm a nerd, I went and bought a second generation Durston Kakwa 40 liter backpack. This time in medium. My torso size is right between the small and medium recommendations. So the first version is a small, which I think roughly comes in at about 37 total liters. This is a medium. I think it gives me 40 liters full in the main compartment. Here's my hope. I'm hoping that the second generation can last the final 650 or so miles of this trail without breaking. I will note that the bottom of this pack, where the frame goes into its sleeve, it seems a lot more reinforced on this version of the pack. So I have some confidence at the moment that it'll work out. Now, the maximum I ever weighed this thing down was 39 pounds, and that was day one of the AZT when I overpacked my food. Since then, I have definitely not had a pack that heavy. I can't imagine that I overloaded this thing to the point where it broke like that. So I have to admit, a little disappointment in the pack. But let's move on from there. Here are a couple of other things that I am swapping out. One of them is that my main storage for all of my clothes that I'm not wearing while I'm hiking was this 8 liter nano Ultra Still Sea to Summit bag. Twice as much as I needed. So not shown here, but I have a 4 liter that I'm swapping it out for. That'll actually help me get more air out of this to compress it down whenever I throw it into my pack. 4 liters is absolutely all that I need. Let's discuss other gear that I'm either swapping out or not bringing anymore. Rain pants. I initially picked these up at the very beginning of my trek because I was concerned, especially about post-holing in ice, that I might hurt myself, but I'm hiking in long pants. So far, I've hiked through a couple of snow days already, and no issues with abrasions on my skin with those pants, so I think we're good to go. No particular issues with cold while I'm hiking because I'm exerting a lot of energy and my body is generating a lot of heat, so that's good to go. My micro spikes traction, I'm leaving these behind. I don't think that I will need these again, if at all, until after Flagstaff and into the Grand Canyon and maybe just the North Rim. If it looks like I might need them in the North Rim, I'm gonna buy a beefier pair of micro spikes for traction at the REI in Flagstaff, rather than carry these all the way there. Because I don't think I'm gonna need them for the backside of Mount Lemmon. I think that's mostly cleaned up. Something I'm swapping out is that I have this small Airlight towel from Sea to Summit. The thing is, it's at least twice as big as I actually need. So I went to REI and I picked up this pack towel, really small, and although it doesn't have a stuff sack, I can strap it on the outside of my pack to dry it off if I need to. I'll just roll this thing up and stuff it in the outside compartment down here. Good to go. This is the extra bit for it, but I am actually going to replace my Platypus Quick Draw. I've tried flushing this thing out. My old one, the one that I started the trail with, I still think it probably has 800 liters or so to go on filtering, but the water here is kind of dank and it's taken a lot of work to filter water, and although I have tried to clean out and flush out my Quick Draw, the flow rate is still pretty abysmal. So I'm definitely choosing to trade money for time, and I'm just going to pick up a new Quick Draw and start from scratch. I will try to flush it out more frequently to try and keep it running smoothly. I hike every single day with sun gloves, and I also brought these glove liners for cold weather. Turns out the sun gloves keep my hands warm enough even in the coldest conditions I've found so far. I don't need a second pair of gloves, so I'm not taking those. A little bit of technology. I started out with this folding keyboard because I thought I might need to bang out some emails or comments to reply to all of you on YouTube. Turns out I can either use my phone for that very efficiently, or I'll use the iPad directly. I don't need to carry this thing after all. Similarly, I have a spare battery for my Insta360 camera. Turns out I can power up my battery just fine while I'm on the go. I don't need an extra one. And I also don't need this 1 terabyte external hard disk. I thought I was going to keep archival footage of everything I recorded while on the trail, and the nerd in me says that I should do that, but in reality I know that I'm never going to go back to this footage and create anything new with it. So the videos you see on YouTube is what you get. All of the source material is going to go away. I'm okay with it. I've made peace with that. I used to carry, or in my daily life, I carried this little magnetic sort of holder for my phone. Really handy in normal life. Turns out it mostly just collects dirt. Dirt that has a little magnetic draw gets stuck in here, and it gets knocked off of my phone all the time while I'm looking at far out. I don't need to carry that thing. And then finally, I was given a $2 bill on my very first day by Stormmocker, one of the OG hikers I've met, the coolest dude. And he used to give out $2 bills back when he was hiking the PCT. He would do day hikes, and as he would meet hikers, he would tell them what the conditions were ahead, which was way more relevant when there wasn't as much cell service and as much coverage. And then he would also hand out $2 bills for as long as he would carry them. And he would, of course, say that ultralight hikers would thank him for the $2 bill because it's lighter than 2 $1 bills. I'm keeping this. He said spend it on something nice in town. I'm not going to do that, but I don't need to carry it with me to the end of this trail. So that's really it for gear swapping, gear I'm leaving behind. Curious what your thoughts are. What would you leave behind? What would you keep? And what would you swap? I'm really enjoying my day off. I think it's putting me in a really good position to get up and over Mount Lemmon. It's still raining here in Tucson, but it's not aggressive, so I think I'm giving time for the rivers and water crossings that I will hit as I go up Mount Lemmon to subside a little bit, and that's just putting myself in a better position in terms of safety. So with any luck, next town will be Summerhaven for a quick pit stop, maybe a cup of coffee at the general store, and then on to Oracle, where I will spend one night and do my next resupply before getting back on trail. But day 12, 0 day, it's going great, and I will see you tomorrow when I hike again for day 13, where we are once again aiming for 20 miles. See you there.